All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about a topic that hits home for so many creative people: money. That often stressful, kind of complicated relationship musicians have with their finances? Well, we're going to look at how to turn all that stress into a real source of strength for your career. So, check out this quote from a recent report on music students. It really gets to the absolute core of the issue, right? Students confuse low income with low ability, harming their confidence. Wow, it's a powerful reminder that this isn't just about dollars and cents. We're talking about how money struggles can literally attack an artist's confidence and their whole sense of self worth.
Okay, so the insights we're looking at today come from this amazing report about a personal finance course designed just for musicians. And what it uncovered is this deep tension that, let's be honest, every artist feels. It's that constant pull, that tug of war between your passion for your craft and the very real, practical need to pay the bills. So the report basically pinpointed 5 major financial hurdles that kept coming up again and again. And as we walk through them, I really want you to listen closely. Because if any of these sound familiar, trust me, you are so not alone. These are challenges shared by pretty much everyone in the creative field.
All right, so the number one most common struggle, you might be surprised. It wasn't a lack of trying or wanting to do better, it was simply a lack of a system. Most of the students just didn't have a consistent way to track their money, especially when you're dealing with that classic freelance problem, right? That totally unpredictable income from gigs.
And this is exactly why that old school traditional budgeting advice just falls flat for artists. I mean, how can you have a rigid monthly budget when your income is all over the place from one month to the next? It feels completely impossible. In fact, a lot of people in the study admitted they just straight up avoid tracking their spending because honestly, the anxiety and the overwhelm are just too much. Okay, get this. The report uncovered a super surprising detail. Out of everything, the single biggest trigger for both overspending and emotional stress was eating out. Yeah, eating out. It seems so small, right? But it's this simple daily choice that has a massive ripple effect on everything: your finances, your energy, and believe it or not, even your performance quality.
So, as you can see, budgeting is the big one, taking up a huge 40% chunk of the pie. But the other hurdles are really significant too. You've got 20%, that's 1 in 5, struggling with having no emergency savings. Then you have debt and income uncertainty tied at 15% each. And finally, emotional spending, which is a real thing, clocks in at 10%.
Okay, so looking at all that, I get it. It can feel pretty overwhelming. It's a lot. And the natural question is, so where do I even begin? How do you start to fix this? Well, the answer is actually where the story starts to get a lot more hopeful. Right. This is where the narrative completely shifts. Because the same report that laid out all those struggles, it also found this incredible set of hidden strengths and really positive mindsets that musicians like you already have. And here it is. This is your secret weapon. You already think like an entrepreneur. Seriously. The report found that the skills you need to build a life as a musician are the exact same skills you need to be a successful business owner. You're already doing the work, you just might not be calling it that. I mean, think about it for a second. You're planning out diverse gig portfolios to make sure you have work. You're constantly branding yourself and networking. You reinvest your own money back into your equipment. And you're literally managing inconsistent cash flow all the time. See, these aren't just artist habits. They are straight up business habits. And the list of strengths just keeps going. The report showed that musicians are incredibly resilient. They totally get the value of investing in their craft, they're masters at balancing competing priorities, and they are super goal-focused. These are incredible assets to have. The point is, you already have the right mindset. You just need the right system to go with it. Okay, so we've laid out the problem, but more importantly, we've uncovered your built-in strengths. So now let's get to the roadmap. We're going to look at a few clear, actionable strategies from the report that were designed specifically for an artist's life.
First things first, let's talk about a budget that actually works for freelancers. This is called percentage-based budgeting. So instead of trying to stick to a fixed dollar amount each month, you use percentages. That means every single time you get paid, doesn't matter if it's $50 or $5,000, a set percentage goes to taxes, another percentage goes to savings, and so on. It's a system that's flexible and moves with your income, not against it. And speaking of taxes, the report offers this super simple, really powerful rule of thumb. It's the 30% rule. For every single dollar you earn from a gig, you immediately move 30 cents into a separate savings account just for taxes. I'm telling you, this one tiny habit can wipe out so much of that year-end tax stress. All right, building an emergency fund. I know, it can feel like this huge, daunting mountain to climb. But the report breaks it down into really simple steps. First, just figure out your target number, what 3 months of essential expenses looks like for you. Then you just start small. I'm talking even just $10 a week. And finally, and this is the most important part, you automate it. Set up that automatic transfer so you can set it and forget it. Let it build momentum on its own. Next up, the report really stressed the need to get clear on debt because not all debt is created equal. Think of it this way. Good debt is basically an investment in your future. Things like student loans for your craft or financing that awesome new piece of gear you need. Bad debt, on the other hand, is usually that high-interest credit card debt for stuff that, well, it doesn't really build your future. Just knowing the difference is a total game changer. And all of this brings us to what I think is the most important takeaway from the entire report. It's a huge mindset shift, and it's one that can honestly change everything for you. You know, there's this idea that focusing on money will somehow hinder your creativity, but it's the exact opposite. Getting your finances in order is what enables your art. A solid financial system is the backbone. It's what gives you the freedom and the stability to actually build a sustainable, long-term artistic life. And this is the quote to write down. Financial management is a skill, not a personality trait. Think about that. Managing your money is a learnable skill, just like practicing scales or learning music theory. It has nothing to do with your character or your talent or your worth as a person. It's a practice. It's not who you are. So, that brings us to a final question, just for you. If finance is a skill, something you practice, then what's the very first tiny step you can take today to start your financial practice routine? Seriously, what is it? Maybe it's opening that separate tax account. Maybe it's automating that $10 transfer. Whatever it is, the key is just to begin.